All right, everybody. We are getting started for our latest episode of Indie Inquiries, where we review indie game store pages and provide critique and advice for how to set up the best page for your game. As always, I am Josh Bycer, and my co-host from Nexus Games, Sharky.
Hello, everybody. And as we have learned over the past few days with different podcasts, that your store page and your trailer on your store page overall is arguably the most important thing when it comes to marketing your game. So,
So we get to be even more critical now.
oh yeah,
So we have one game submission this week, and we have one that we've been wanting to take a look at. And as always, if you are a developer working on an upcoming, or it could already be out game, that you like some marketing advice and store page advice on, please reach out to either one of us. You'll find links to all of our contacts and discords and all that down in the description.
yep, and join it for both of us.
So we're starting with the game that was submitted, and this is Gamedev Masters. And yeah, I do not like this thumbnail at all.
Yeah, this thumbnail just speaks of all generic. I mean, like, really, it says nothing about the game. It says money, which, would lead you to think that it's stock market the game or, Bitcoin the game or loot box the game, anything but what this game is.
Yep. And when you showed it to me, I didn't even realize this was a game. I thought this was a YouTube video. And
Yeah. I mean, the text stands out, but
well,
that's all it's got.
like, this is anti-attracting, I think, for a consumer. Like, they're going to look at this and just not even bother clicking.
Yeah, I mean, that thumbnail is almost anti-marketing.
And I think because of that, what do you think? D minus for the grade?
D minus.
It's clean, but that is literally all it has going for it.
And the text is readable. That's, I mean, this is like, you could leave the text and get rid of everything else. And you can, basically start over. This.
All right.
It just doesn't fit the game. It doesn't fit. It doesn't look good. It doesn't do anything.
And speaking about text, wait until you see these trailers. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, let's go with the first trailer.
All right.
Which you have this implosion of unreadable font. And then another font.
I can barely make that text out.
Yeah, it's not readable.
Yeah,
and I don't know what even's going on in the game, because we learned the other day that when it comes to text over images, text wins. And then here's another text. I think that's a new font, and it's definitely a new color. It's glowing now.
Yeah, but the text is
transition.
I like blue over blue. That's good.
Yeah, and another text and font done completely differently. And did you notice that green text over there just for a second?
Yeah. Oh my. Like, it feels like this is more of a showcase for fonts and text transitions in a game.
Yeah, and you gotta love this text over text here. It's like, which text do I look at? And
the procedural generation
got the white over white, and then it turns black.
Yeah, and then it becomes unreadable.
And then now you got these 3D fonts that are coming out, and Star Warsing their selves into my face, and now you got a neon font, and oh my god. If I didn't already know what the game was, I wouldn't have known anything from that trailer, because besides, Tech Simulator 2019, 2021.
I mean, the call to action is decent, but it's a completely different style than anything else in this trailer.
Yeah, and all of all of the fonts were different, and it was giving me overload, and
And the trailer was also overly long.
yeah. And
Yeah.
wait, there was a trailer. All I
Mm-hmm.
seen was text.
All right. Let's go to number 2. Let's see.
And we have another spinny text, and now we have a different text down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And this gameplay looks exactly like Gamedev Simulator. And
Mm-hmm.
another different text at the bottom. I mean, he needs to grab one style and stick to it for the most part. There's exceptions
Yeah.
that can be made in some cases, and now you have all this text being thrown away apparently.
Yeah. And you can't even really read it in time. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, I got make a plan from that one. 90 something deep dive something dynamic something and something, and then a splash of paint that just blinded me.
And we have a jump scare at the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the call to action is decent, but the background behind it isn't good
Yeah.
and doesn't fit the game in any way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do you think about these trailers?
No, they tell me nothing about the game. They're hard to view. And
Hard of you.
other than text.
Too much credit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm thinking low D, maybe I have low D.
Yeah, I'm thinking F plus.
Mm. Yeah, I think somewhere in the F range, unfortunately. The problem is that nothing showed me the game. Nothing convinces me I want to play this game.
I mean, there's something, it convinces me that I need to learn 50 different ways to do font for a trailer.
And transitions.
And then only use one of them.
Mm-hmm. So, let's go to the screenshots. Some of these, again, because of how generic the game looks, it's hard to tell. But I think these images are original. For the most
not
part.
Not the first one and the second one. I think the third one's original, fourth, fifth. I think only the first two are from the trailer.
Yeah. The final 3 are original, but it's just an assault on your eyes. How are you supposed to know what you're looking at?
Yeah, there's, I think the main issues with these screenshots, besides the first 2 that are repeats from the trailer, is actually issues with the game. Because if you look at screenshots 3 through 7 kind of thing, they're all just generic offices kind of thing. And even the UI in the game does not match, because if you look at screenshot number 7, you see on the side where you have the year, February year 1, week 1, week 4, rather. You see those have hexagonal boxes kind of thing. And then if you looked at the UI at the top where it says no project kind of thing, that has smooth edges on it. And it's like a gradient kind of thing. And then if you look at the little orange boxes and the blue boxes
they're
on
hexagons.
Those, they're hexagons, which could fit with the ones over there, but the one with the smooth does not.
Yeah.
And then over on the side of that, you have the news breaking kind of thing,
and that's a different style.
In a square box.
Yeah.
And it doesn't match either. And you have the other thing in the square box. So he's using square, smooth rectangle, hexagon, and or angled. We'll just call it angled.
Yeah, it's just lots of information, all very shown haphazardly. And again, it's not selling me on any on this game. Don't forget, there's an entire UI bar at the bottom of all these symbols, I have no idea what any of them do.
Yeah, they're all the hexes too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he should match everything to hexes. Change that background that says no project. Change that to not be round and rather have the angles kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and add angles to the breaking news and the beginner's task list.
Yeah. I mean, again, these issues are more game wise than they are screenshot wise. So
Hmm.
the
But they're
screenshots,
bleeding.
yeah.
They're bleeding through to the screenshots. It's not going to affect our grade,
Mm-hmm.
but it is going to affect his sales and his
Yeah.
marketing. And this is something he definitely needs to fix, kind of thing. It
Mm-hmm.
will have no impact on our grade,
Yeah.
but it will definitely impact his sales.
Yeah. So I think grade wise for the screenshots, what do you think? Maybe high C, low B?
I think I would give it a regular B,
Mm-hmm.
a whole B. But like if you look at screenshot number 8, there's just way too much information on there, and
Mm-hmm.
that is a no-no for game design
And
and
for
development as a
marketing.
whole. You don't want to give players this much information to be distracted by at a time.
Yeah.
You want to bring these up maybe one or two at a time, kind of thing.
Yeah. Like maybe like this would be a case of having like full screen, but then letting you like switch between them would be better than just having 5 mini screens. Because this is
Yeah,
just
like a tab system.
yeah. There's just
Yeah, and
way too much going on.
and I think like he could probably fit maybe two of these on each tab, kind of thing. So only like three tabs, kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
like three tabs rather and show this information in three different tabs rather than one
Mm-hmm.
open thing.
Yeah.
Now, if you
So
look at the ninth screenshot, this is a lot better. There's still too much information here, but
but
it's not a complete overload like the
yeah.
last one was.
Yeah.
I would definitely try to reduce the amount of information on here, but this is much better than the other
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yep. All right. Scrolling down. So the game is going into early access, and I hate to say it, but like when I was talking with Lauren about like this feels very much dead on arrival. Like,
Yeah, and we said that he said that basically the difference between early access and, well, he didn't say this, but he basically implied this. He
mm,
said this in some way, that basically the difference between early access and just release is basically nothing,
yeah,
other than people probably expect the game to get better
mm-hmm,
on the other. Marketing wise, it's just pretty much the same
yep,
team
and
wise.
I don't see this going. So
Yeah.
let's talk about this game. So we have a very generic banner. Like I just realized the text is remind me of like the text like Max or EA use for I think SimCity 5. Like, like very like fat letters, like very generic kind of look to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, the problem off the bat, way
Just
too much
background.
text for the sections.
Yeah, the background of the banner doesn't work. Like I think this tech could possibly work, maybe, but this
Mm-hmm.
background behind the banner does not. A blurry
Mm-hmm.
back image of the screen does not work for
Yeah.
background image.
The whole section for procedural generation is just off. Like,
Yeah.
this is not selling anyone. You like a bullet point or two, I think, would work, and maybe like a GIF of how this would actually apply to the game. But this is not telling me anything. And then we have a GIF at the below that I don't think it actually responds or corresponds to procedural generation. And if you notice, there's black bars on both sides, so it's not even like the screen is like filling the GIF.
Yeah. Which may be a problem with the game. It may be a problem with this. It may not be. Like, I don't know maybe this works for the game. I don't know.
But it does
But
not look, quality for a consumer.
yeah. And I would guess that it doesn't work for the game, but it could.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, this is a GIF needs these black bars cut off.
Okay. And some of the text reads a little weird. Like if you look in the scaling to endgame section, the AAA game design will not only require your studio, but you will need to have acquired at least 3 additional AI competitors. Okay, that is weird.
Yeah, that reads weird.
Haven't seen before. And again, there could be something unique and interesting about this game, but this is not showing me any of it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it feels like it's just. I mean, and this could be very, very untrue, but it feels like just a copy of Game Dev Simulator with
Mm-hmm.
with worse graphics
Yeah,
and
you
very
don't
much
want
worse
that.
store page.
Yeah. And then the key features, these are way too many key features, and I think he's confusing functions in the game with marketing points for consumers. Like,
Yeah,
commercially license your engines for AIs to use. Why would the consumer want to do that? Multiple offices can be customized. Okay, that's a decent one. But again, these bullet points should be spread out throughout the rest of this about this game section. Because I can pretty much guarantee most people aren't even going to get down this far.
yeah. And again, with all the banners, they have the generic blurred background behind them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so this needs more structure, it needs more organization. It
Needs
basically needs
far
a
less
complete
text.
it needs a complete redesign.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that's stopping it from, I think, being in the F range is that it does have images, it does have some color to it, but I'm thinking maybe D minus. What about you?
I don't know. I don't necessarily think that it stops it from being in the F range. I think it stops it from being F minus for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking F plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think F plus D minus range for me.
Yeah.
All right.
There's only one GIF. The banners I think subtract from it rather than add to it.
And the structure is off.
And the structure is off. There's too much useless text on here.
And here's, I think, ultimately the big issue. I still don't know what I'm doing in this game. We've watched trailers, we've seen images, we've read this about this game. I don't know what I'm doing here.
I know what I'm doing because I've played a game just like this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
At least I think just like this. I can only assume just like this because it feels exactly like Game Dev Simulator,
Mm-hmm.
which I really enjoyed that game.
I am Malthus.
Um, then for the title card, did we? Yeah, we graded that.
Yeah. So title card, you got they do have lots of genre tags. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Developer and publisher are the same name. I mean, we can't really fault you for using your name, but I think that a lot of people view that as a red flag these days.
I could fault him for using his name as a studio. I mean, having the same developer and publisher, no, absolutely not. That's fine. But it needs to be a studio name. It doesn't need to be a personal name because a personal name says that this is a hobby project and not a business project.
Yeah.
And a hobby project should never be sold, and that is a red flag out the yin yang that customer beware, do not buy this game.
Yeah. So we looked at this before we started the stream, and while he does have a website, the website is very generic. It's very poor.
And it also is like one of those free sites that at least I think it's a free site. It had a little extra banner at the top telling you to check out, get your own website or something here, and it just feels
And when I checked his Twitter account, there is no way to directly message him. And
Mm,
this is a no-no. While the title card and the genre tags are there for Steam's purposes, you still need a contact for press and media. And if you don't have that, it means people can't get in touch with you. And if people can't get in touch with you, how are they going to want to check out your game or give you coverage?
yeah, if a YouTuber wants to contact you and show you, show your game off kind of thing, and he goes to Twitter and you don't accept messages, how is he supposed to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, he could send you a public text, but a public tweet, but then that's
That's
unprofessional
yeah, you need
and
to
looks bad on
have
him.
yep. You need to have a contact info. Like when I spoke to Lauren about, you want to have you need a trailer, you need a store page, you need social media, and you need some kind of contact info. If you don't
Yeah,
have that, you are basically throwing your entire marketing out the window because if people can't get in touch with you, what's the point of having marketing done?
I wouldn't say you're throwing it all out, but I think the trailer it
Mm-hmm.
did that, the trailer and the thumbnail.
Yeah. But if you
But like,
want people to reach out
there's
to you, you gotta give them the way to reach out to you.
yeah,
So,
and it's Ryan Sanders on Twitter and Ryan Sanders on YouTube and whatnot, and also having a personal name here on top of not being good and not looking good for consumers, kind of thing,
mhm,
is very bad for people who want to troll you because they have your full name
mhm,
now.
yeah. You mean it's
And
very good for them to troll you? No, it's very bad. It's good for them, bad for you.
yeah,
So,
it it's not good to
yeah,
have. You want to have a studio name,
yeah,
and you want to have a Twitter account that's specifically for your studio. Maybe the Ryan Sanders Twitter account is just that. Maybe
yeah.
the YouTube account is also just that. But they need to be in a company name,
Yeah.
not your personal name.
hmm So I think overall, uh, I mean, they do have the genre tags. They do have they did the Steam side, I think, right? But still needs a contact info. I'm thinking maybe B minus. What about you?
Yeah, B minus. B sounds good for the title card.
Yeah.
Uh
Well,
oh. OBS disconnected.
oh.
Apparently.
It may reconnect on its own. Mm-mm.
Um. Okay, it seems to be reconnecting.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the title card overall is maybe a B.
hmm Unfortunately, that's the lowest actual rating or lowest
Thing that
contributing to the
matters.
score. Yeah.
Yeah, the
So,
main thing that matters on the score is your thumbnail and trailer.
and those two are not good.
Yeah, those two were, I think, the lowest. Were those the lowest grades?
Yes, I think. Did we give the trailer? I think an F.
I think the trailer got an F plus, and I think the thumbnail got a F, regular F.
Eh. So I think overall, I think this is going to be another. I don't know if I would give it an F minus. I think I would give this an maybe
Yeah, it's
F F.
definitely not an F minus. It's. I think this is. I'm leaning towards F plus for this
Yeah.
overall.
I think FF plus for me.
Yeah, I'm debating between the F and F plus.
Yeah. The problem is that nothing on the store page is would be motivating enough to get somebody to check this game out.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
ultimately,
the
that's
name,
yeah.
the name does not work either.
And ultimately, your goal of the store page is convert consumers into buying your game.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't do that, it's not working.
Yeah,
And it's not working basically top to bottom. And that's unfortunately not good.
yeah, and I can tell you this: that you need to change this release date because the game if this is the way the game currently is, if you release in 2 weeks, on approximately 2 weeks on June 3rd, that's when this game dies.
Yeah, and if, again, like when I spoke with Lord, early access or full release, day one is do or die time. And if
Hmm.
you stumble out of the gate with early access, it's going to be very hard for you to recover.
And I have a question for him. If he, when he's watching this, is, how many wish lists do you have on this at the moment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it's less than 1,000, you are in so much trouble.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about releasing this
Mm-hmm.
in 2 weeks, if this is if you have, I would say if you have less than 10,000 wish list on this right now, there's no doubt that this game is dead. Not saying that you have to have 10,000, but looking at everything that's here, if you don't have 10,000, this game is dead on June 3rd if you release it there on June 3rd.
All right. So I think with that, are you ready to move on?
Yeah.